a good introduction back into the swang of things as far as training and life goes. More so my work schedule. So we got home last night pretty freaking late. It was about like 8:30, 9 p.m. And considering the fact that I usually go to bed around like 9 to 10, you know, I usually have like a 30-minute to an hour wind down time before I go to bed, so it was just a little later than usual. But we got back from San Jose back into Sacramento last night and got to bed. We actually fell asleep a little after 11, but I didn't have a job for today, so I didn't have like a subbing job until about like 9 to 10 a.m. And it was pretty interesting just how it all worked out, because it actually worked out to where I could get a job pretty freaking late. It popped up, and then I actually just got off even earlier than expected because I had a prep period for my last period, and so I get to dip out early. But anyways, that just worked out in my favor, and yeah, life's freaking good. But anyways, today we have good old freaking back day, and it's kind of nice because this week my meal plan, the carbs are just a little more evenly dispersed. I guess, and when I say little, I do mean just a little, because it's not like we're having a ton more carbs, but we have 3 meals with starches or, you know, complex carbs instead of 2. So that really freaking helps. And I don't know if anyone who's watching this is dieting, but I would say for me, what has helped the most is to have like a starch, you know, in other words, like rice, potatoes, low sugar cereal, whatever. Just something that gives you energy very, very quickly. I would have starches in the first and last meal of the day. And what that tends to do is it gives me a lot of energy to start the day with. And then towards the tail end of the day, when I usually have like cravings and I just want to freaking eat my entire pantry, that's when I actually have a meal with a lot of carbs. So those carbs, even though I might not be getting a lot, I still, I don't know if that was your turn, but it's almost like tricking my brain into thinking, man, I just had a huge freaking meal, but I just had the carbs that were on my plan. So yeah, that's a good little hack that I like to use. I don't know, it helps because I know that I'm still going to be in a deficit, you know, across the board, like protein wise, fats, carbs, whatever. But just that tiny little manipulation, just having carbs on your first and your last meal in a day, it really helps with those nighttime cravings, and then it helps just to have a little more energy to start off your day with. So that's what I freaking like to do. But I would say the key is probably that nighttime last meal carb timing, because that will definitely help with a lot of those cravings you might have right before bed. But yeah, today we got back, so I'm thinking I actually might be going according to plan for the first time in a while. And the only reason why I haven't been going according to plan, if y'all have been watching these vlogs, is because of my lower back injury. So it's been doing a lot better, definitely healing. Not to say that we're gonna go freaking crazy and try to deadlift the entire gym. We're not trying to throw on like 3-4 plates and rep that out. But what we will try to do is, you know, just get a little more of a pump with a heavier weight than usual. So we're just kind of like testing the boundaries more and more and more every back day. And yeah, that's also not to say, okay, I feel freaking good. Let's try to progressive overload an insane amount just to see how much our body can actually take. No. We are pushing it just a little bit, just enough to where it feels good, but not so much to where it's like, all right, I need to feel like I'm getting re-injured, or maybe even worsening the injury and having it spread. So yeah, that's where we want to land right now. We're not really, in the ballpark of trying to go for too many PRs. It's more so just to get a pump and just to feel freaking healthy all the way around. So that's going to be the plan. But if I had to guess what we're going to be getting after with back today, I'm thinking we got, I've been really liking scapular pinches, so we might be doing something in that region. But then again, my body might be getting used to it because I've been doing it for the last 2 back days, so we might have to change it up. But that's why I say I love having a program, because I can just resort to that if I really have run out of ideas. Like, I'm like, all right, how do I keep my back growing? Well, your coach, if you have a really good coach like mine is, you will definitely see the growth, because they change it up pretty often, and then they throw in some signature moves that are specifically catered to what you're trying to grow. So for me, it's like I'm trying to grow my mid-back. My coach has a movement called the Rainbow Row of Death, which is, talk about emphasizing death. It's 35 reps per set, and what you're doing is you're keeping your elbows really high at the start of the set, and you're doing a wide grip cable row. And so you do 5 reps, elbows pretty high, like almost like you're trying to make a 90-degree angle with your torso to your arms or your humerus, which is just like the bone, where your bicep and tricep are. And then you drop your elbows just an inch, you do another 5 reps. Drop your elbows another inch, do another 5 reps, until you get to where your elbows are completely tucked in to your rib cage, and you're doing 5 reps from there. So yeah, that's the freaking plan for today. But I don't know what this person's doing. They're like way behind though. But yeah, so that's the plan. Definitely a lot of rows, maybe some scapular pinches, but like I say, I mean, if you have a good coach, you will be able to resort to the program and know that you are freaking growing, not just from, the physical image, but, the scale will start going up. You'll start feeling a lot more energetic, because your body's growing, and it's going to need to, it's utilizing more energy, but it's also giving off more energy because you have, more muscle, less fat. I don't know. Your body composition is just, it's changing in the direction of, getting stronger and just having more energy overall. So that is the freaking plan for today. The plan is no plan right now. I really don't know what's going to be going on, but I know that it's going to be a freaking blast. But other than that, meditations have been going extremely well. My meditation this morning kind of gave a pretty cool insight. And it's one of those things that I look back and I'm like, well, yeah, duh. Like, it's fucking obvious. So everything comes in moderation, right? That was kind of like my big insight for this meditation. And I think the insight comes when you notice that, like for me, everything is in moderation, but it's very contextual to what I'm doing. So like I'm trying, to keep everything in moderation with thinking in general, so just not overthinking. And then also with the mantra, like I'm not trying to use the mantra as a way of escaping from feeling uncomfortable, if that makes any sense. Like if you're not feeling good, I'm not going to use the mantra to be like, all right, I gotta get away from this feeling. No. The mantra is there just to center you when you're kind of getting a little more distracted than usual. That's all the mantra's there for. It's not, kind of like a shuttle taking you from those uncomfortable feelings. Like, it's meant to center you so you can understand those feelings and then, come back to what you really value. I mean, that's the whole gig. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing right now, I guess. That's what I'm kind of going through. But yeah, it definitely makes a difference, the whole just centering yourself with the mantra. But yeah, everything in moderation. I was noticing, if I was overthinking a lot, so I'd try to use the mantra a lot more than usual. But if I did that, then the overthinking would come back. And so that's where it's like, okay, use the mantra just in moderation. Like, it's not a form of escapism per se, but it's more so to just center you, and that's it. That's freaking it. So yeah, that was a pretty cool insight. But anyways, I am, oh man, these people love to cut in. That is a favorite activity of theirs. Probably not going to be taken this way because it is packed for some reason. But yeah, so that is how the meditations are going. I notice if I am thinking a lot though, the mantras will definitely help just with, not overthinking that much. But that being said, don't use the mantra an insane amount, not so much so that you're like, trying to escape something, right? Yeah, it's kind of interesting too on the flip side of things. If you feel really good, it's like you can kind of feel guilty for feeling really good. Like, oh man, or you're trying to investigate why you feel so good. And so you start overthinking that way. So that's where the mantra can really help as well. Just kind of center you and not have you overthink. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm landing right now. But anyways, I've just been enjoying it. It's pretty cool. I was watching a Sam Sulik vlog today, and it was just kind of interesting. It was oh wait, is this wanting me? No. Is this taking me to my gym? Because that seems pretty freaking long. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But yeah, he was basically saying that he was looking at Wesley Visser's back when they were at the Arnold UK, and it is just freaking massive. I mean, just like any top pro, would be, they're just freaking massive human beings. But he was, Sam was thinking, man, his back is really good. He could probably chill off of it for a little bit. But then seeing guys like that really put things into perspective. And so that's where I'm thinking. And then after that, he's thinking, he was saying this, he's not trying to grow his back to that point to compete well against them. He's just growing his back to that point because he thinks it's freaking cool. And I thought that was pretty cool because I kind of have this parallel, not only in bodybuilding, yeah, I'm trying to put on as much size as possible and, just look freaking lean, mean, and not a fighting machine, but a loving machine, make that as corny as possible. So, yeah, but I'm thinking of it like it has a parallel with me and the meditation. So, whenever I see meditators, it could be people in the Transcendental Meditation community, like practitioners or teachers, or like monks or yogis, or just anyone who is kind of like in the realm of meditation. Whoa, there's a lot of stuff on the road right here. Don't want to run over any of it. But they are just living life to the freaking fullest. They are just happy, as content as could be. They're just enjoying this thing we call life. And it's not even like I'm doing it to be like them. I'm just doing it because I think it's freaking cool. I think it's freaking cool to be happy and just live life effortlessly and just enjoy it. Like, almost think of it like you're playing your favorite game as a kid. If you ever think back to that time, then that's how I want to live my entire life. You know, through good times and bad, you kind of have like this very good anchor that, you know, everything's going to be all right. And everything is already all right. So, that's kind of where I'm coming from with a lot of this, but yeah, anyways, I think it's time to get a freaking nasty back pump. I will see y'all in there, and let's just have a good time. Yeah. Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That was... Is this thing on? All right, yeah, we are good to go. That was quite possibly one of the best back workouts I have had ever. I'm not talking in a while. I am talking in all the history of all the backs, of all the workouts. Well, I guess not all the backs, just my back. That was freaking amazing. I mean, I think it was partially due to the refeed I had yesterday, and then I had a great night's sleep, just coming off of spring break, so I didn't even work for a week. So I just wasn't fatigued from that. I mean, a lot of different factors, but I would say a huge factor as well is me tapering down the cardio. So I have been doing level 6, 30 minutes on stairs every day, but I've been doing level 4 for the past like 3-4 days, and I can definitely feel the difference. The difference being I am just a lot more energized, because for the purposes of bodybuilding, it's obviously to fuel the lift, because the lift is what's going to give you the most bang for your buck in terms of muscle growth and fat loss. Now, cardio is just kind of the cherry on top. That is what's going to fuel your lift. But there was a phase where I was pushing my cardio a little too much, and because of that, it was taking away from the lift. And so, you know, what do? We taper down the cardio, and turns out the lifts are even better. But yeah, it was freaking nuts. I mean, the refeed that I had yesterday, it was Easter, and my family loves to celebrate Easter. They, you know, extended relatives come in, we have a big dinner. So, you know, I've been clean, or I've just been eating extremely clean and exactly on plan for, I think we were going on like 3 weeks at that point of just no refeeds, nothing, just solid clean eating. And so I think that refeed yesterday was well deserved, and also really contributed to the fullness of today's workout, because I mean, let me just we'll just break down what I had yesterday. So I think the first 3 meals, or first 2 meals, completely normal. Those were like, I mean, I usually, on my plan this week, I have 3 eggs, 1.5 cups of low sugar cereal, and then a banana. That's my first meal. My second meal is 5 ounces ground beef, or it's just red meat. It could be any kind of red meat, but I prefer like lean ground beef, and then a cup of rice. So that's all I had that was on plan yesterday. And then after that, was a freaking smorgasbord of whatever. I mean, I'm talking, we had hors d'oeuvres. So I think I had like a few deviled eggs, and then what else did I have? I think that's about it as far as like the hors d'oeuvres go. I didn't go too crazy on the hors d'oeuvres because I knew dinner was coming, and that was just going to be nuts. So then dinner was, we got this big ham from Costco. Shout out Costco. And the glaze on it was just, oh, so good. It was like this brown sugar glaze. Oh, that was delicious. So I probably had, I want to say like at least a pound, like 16 ounces of ham, and which was good because I had, I think, 14 ounces of protein left. I was supposed to have like 5 ounces of ground beef, 5 ounces of chicken, and 4 ounces of chicken. And so, the pound or so of ham did me very well. That was definitely prioritized as far as the meal goes, because I knew I didn't finish my meals for the day. So I was like, all right, we got all this ham, might as well dig in. And then on the side of that, I think I had those like Pillsbury, they're like those little bread croissant things, but they're super soft and doughy, and they're just freaking delicious. So I think I had like 4 or 5 of those. And then I had, they had like this, I don't usually have dairy that much just because it doesn't work with my system too well, at least in large amounts. But I had like this, it was like a cheese potato casserole thing, and yeah, that did me well. That was freaking delicious. I had that, and then I think I had like some salad, some asparagus, and that was about it as far as the dinner goes. And then dessert, they surprised us with icing on the cake. So they got, I don't know if people who aren't familiar with icing on the cake, it's like this very decadent dessert place. And so they got like these, this array of different flavored cupcakes. And these aren't just regular cupcakes. This is like extremely high-end, like super delicious, just, and also decorative cupcakes. Like they're like, Michelin star cupcakes. It's not just regular cupcakes. So super gourmet cupcakes. They had like a peanut butter one. They had like a caramel one. And then they had, I think like there was like a sundae one. It was supposed to taste like an ice cream sundae. So that was freaking delicious. I had like a few bites of each of those because we were just slicing them up and passing them around. And I think that was about it. And then I had they had some like tiny little Easter egg chocolates. So I had some of those. And then we drove from San Jose to Sacramento. And I was with my lady, and we drove back, and she was hungry because she's super polite when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like, she doesn't want to impose and have all the food and whatever. So she was kind of hungry on the way back because she didn't eat that much. And so we ended up stopping off at Jack in the Box, and that was, oh gosh, that was kind of a surprise because I was pretty full by that point, but I was like, I've come this far, like I've ate this much, might as well have a little more. And so she got like this nice like spicy chicken sandwich. And then she asked me, because she's just super nice, she was like, do you want anything? And I was like, ooh, I think I'll get the same thing. And so then she proposed, she was like, might as well make it a meal. Get some fries, a drink out of it. So that's just what we did. And Jack in the Box, I'm a big fan of their curly fries. So we got curly fries, spicy chicken sandwich. Didn't put any cheese on it because, I don't know, I don't feel like chicken sandwiches really need cheese. And then, yeah, that was about it. And then we got like this 0-calorie lemonade, and we split all of that. Like we had, oh, there she is right now. But yeah, so that was really cool. What else? Oh yeah, and then I got home, and I had a little bit of the green, and other than that, it was nighty-night Christian. I took I've been having like this nice like nighttime regimen as far as like all the supplements I'm taking right now. So I'm taking NyQuil, melatonin, GABA, and wheat germ oil. And so all of that combined, I felt freaking amazing waking up this morning. But before I went to bed, we've been watching the show. And so we were watching the show, and I was like, I had all this food. I usually don't eat this, like I usually don't go off plan, like I'd say like 90% of the time. So I'm like, might as well top it off. We have Costco cookies in the pantry, so I ended up having 3 of those chocolate chip Costco cookies, and definitely don't regret it. That was freaking delicious. But that being said, insane lift today. I actually was on plan, and I modified it just a tiny bit, just with the hip pulls. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't pushing my lower back injury too much. And it worked out really well. And it worked out so much so that I was doing close grip rows at the very end, and I had no lower back pain. I think that was the biggest win of today. I had no lower back pain doing rows that weren't chest supported. Freaking awesome. Pat on the back for me. That was just freaking sweet. So yeah, we're feeling good right now. We are feeling freaking amazing. But yeah, not much else to do today. Just get home. We're gonna probably meditate, bust out some content for YouTube, splice this up, and then post it onto the vlogs. But that's about freaking it, my friends. We will be hitting some arms tomorrow, so that's going to be a lot of fun, but I will see y'all for that. Haha, just to the kidding. We are freaking back with a meditation, and this is, I don't know if you can see this, but this is kind of like, well, this is the office space, and as you can tell, it's not just mine. But got a meditation cushion right there, and we are freaking set to go. So let's jump into it. And if you want to do transcendental meditation with me, or a version of it, this isn't like an official one because you have to go through the training and everything, but if you do want to do a version of transcendental meditation with me, then check the description down below. There are directions, there's a list of mantras according to ages, so just if you're feeling it. But if not, that's cool too. Just enjoy the vibes. We got 20 minutes on the clock. Actually, let's do 21, just for fun. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, let's get it. Ooh. Holy crap. Oh man. Man. Alright, let's turn on a light here. Boom. Alright. Whew. Yeah. Oh man. That was quiet. Yeah. Man, there's like the first 10 minutes kind of feel like you're wrangling your thoughts and even like your feelings and perceptions. And then after those 10 minutes, it's almost like they become tamer. Like they just stop forcing themselves into the equation so much. And so you kind of get to these deeper depths of quiet. And yeah, that was really special. And it's interesting because it's kind of having fun with it, where, you know, every thought, feeling, or perception that would pop up, I would just make it a game, and I would kind of go back to the mantra every time. And yeah, it got to be pretty fun, because in those first 10 minutes, it was just like pew, 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 you know, just one thought after another, or one feeling after another. And just keep coming back to the mantra. Like it was pretty fun though, you know, and I think that's part of the effortlessness. It's supposed to be fun, you know, it's supposed to be kind of like a game. So that's where, I don't know, you know, you just make it whatever you want. And for me, I want to make it a game because it's the most fun to me. But yeah, it was interesting. It was kind of like you have like these different variants of thoughts, you know, kind of like you have, you know, just a thought about, I don't know, let's say the past, right? And then you're like, ooh, I caught that thought and I brought it back to the mantra. That's pretty cool. And so there's a thought commenting on the thought that you caught the mantra and brought it back. And then you're like, got that thought. You brought your attention back to the mantra. And then after that, it's like you have a thought that's vigilantly looking out for other thoughts. And so you have to be aware of that thought and bring it back. So your mind is very tricky. You know, it's like I think of it almost like lawyers, where everyone's trying to make their argument, and some lawyers are more convincing than other lawyers. And so, but it doesn't matter. I mean, that's what I love about this meditation is it doesn't matter what thought, what feeling, or what perception passes through your mind. You just bring it back to the mantra. And that's the cool part about this. The mantra is supposed to signify, at least this is how I see it, it's supposed to signify this unity where everything is a part of this singularity. And so it's almost like the mantra is this constant reminder of the interconnectedness between thoughts, feelings, and perceptions. So I thought that was pretty freaking cool. But anyways, we are done for the day. We're gonna go shower, we're gonna go eat, we're gonna go sleep. So that being said, I'm also gonna be, it's funny, my lady wanted to watch friends and neighbors. But I was like, yeah, that's fine. At first I was like, come on, like, but we're gonna watch together. But she had other plans, so it's whatever. I'll go catch up on that while I grub. But anyways, my friends, I will see y'all tomorrow for good old-fashioned arm session.